Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video. Today I wanted to talk about Buckminster Fuller. If you don't know who he is, you should definitely go and look him up. He was one of the coolest guys I've ever seen. He's one of my heroes that I've looked up to my whole life. I've grown up knowing about him. He was just so neat. I think most of his philosophies and ideas were grounded in what I would call Solarpunk. Most of his philosophies, most of his ways of looking at the world is what I think is a very futuristic way of seeing problems and being how problems are solvable. And yeah, Buckminster Fuller was the original Solarpunk in my opinion. I found some really cool street art with Buckminster Fuller on it right here, and he's known for making the geodesic dome, and that's what this background is right here. They actually get stronger with size. The more you grow them up, the more they pull on themselves and actually get stronger, and that's what his whole philosophy was. Not just with structural building materials, but with society and social structures and stuff like that. Buckminster Fuller was the one who coined the term synergy. And now I know that word is thrown around a whole lot today, but what he meant by the term synergy or synergistic materials was properties that emerge that are stronger or greater than the sum of the components and the parts that go into it, such as the geodesic dome. All the individual pieces are not that strong, but the way the stress and the tension pulls on itself, it actually supports itself, and they support each other, like how I keep grabbing my hands together like this. And this is how he viewed society. This is how he viewed all kinds of things, of being able to get more with less. Bucky's also known for, well, he's named for the nanotechnology structures, fullerenes and carbon nanotubes. And it's a different lattice hex array, just like the geodesic dome is where they got the idea from. But look up fullerenes. There's all these different carbon-based structures that are really cool. One of the things he talked about a whole lot was resources and scarcity and abundance, and how in the past it made sense that there was extreme poverty because it was justified in a way because there was limited resources to go around. But as time has gone on, we recognize that technology is a resource liberating material. It's a resource liberating tool. It's a we have the ability to get more with less, as I keep saying. That was his famous line that he repeated a whole lot. And he kept thinking of, with abundance and automation, why do we still have the worlds that we have today? Why are there still social structures that are divided off and things like that? And he had all these neat ideas of how we could build structures for poor people. We like these geodesic domes and stuff. One of the things he actually did was he started a prefab cheap housing structure company, I believe with his father, before he ever started doing anything. And it was actually a big failure. It didn't work out at all. And he was actually going to kill himself to have the family get the insurance money so they might be able to make it through the winter or something like that. And so he went down to this bridge to jump off, and he literally heard a divine intervention. I don't even think he was a religious person, but how he described it was a voice in his head, like an angel, came to him, and they said, you're very selfish for trying to kill yourself. Your life is not your own. You need to get out there. You still have work to do. You have to save the world. And more or less, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what they told him. And he came back and he dedicated his life to trying to solve the world's problems, and a world with solutions, and figuring out how we could do more with less, how we could build a world for everyone. And that's what I really like about him is you should check out his book. One of the books I just finished reading was the operating manual for Spaceship Earth. This is one of the coolest books I've ever read. I'll be honest, I'm dyslexic. I'm not very good at reading. I cannot remember the last time I've read an entire book cover to cover. It's been over a decade, and I flew through this. I could not put this down. This is one of the coolest, neatest views of the world, and this is a good beginner's guide to Buckminster Fuller of sustainability and the future and technology, and not having to sacrifice our way of life, not having to sacrifice luxury and a good quality of life to be sustainable and to make it work for everybody else. That's what his views were. My mom was an elementary school teacher for many decades, and over the doorway of her classroom there was a Buckminster Fuller quote. And one of my favorite quotes of Buckminster Fuller and the way he saw resources and garbage and trash, I'm going to paraphrase the quote, but it was something along the lines of the only reason we have garbage at all and why we throw away things is because we are ignorant of the value of the resources that we are throwing away. And if we could only figure out or see value in the things that we call trash, we would be able to streamline those and turn them into things that are of use. So there would be no waste. And that's what his view of the world was a zero waste world, or a circular economy, circular resources where everything feeds into everything. And I really like this with mushrooms and fungus. I really think that fungus is the future as far as they're the decomposers. They're able to break down pretty much all trash, all kinds of biological resources, and rebuild them into things. And people are finding uses for mushrooms. We'll go over these in other videos, things that me and my team are working on, and some of my other friends. But they are using mycelium to build blocks-based structures, so you can build different actual growing materials, like whole buildings even maybe one day. So yes, inspired by Buckminster Fuller is the way of looking at all kinds of resources and building structures of the future. So that's about all we have time for today. That's just a brief overview of who Buckminster Fuller was. Look him up because, like I said, he's one of my heroes, one of my all-time favorite people. I think he was absolutely amazing. So Solarpunk future, yes.